students. In today's video, we are going to solve a problem on minority interest. So let us go through the problem first. X Limited acquired 75% shares of Y Limited on 1st October 2019 at rupees 15 per share. Following is the balance sheet of Y Limited as on 31st March 2020. So here X Limited is acquiring 75% shares of Y Limited. So X Limited is holding company and Y Limited is subsidiary company. Further, the information of subsidiary company is given. Share capital 1,50,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each. Reserves and surplus, here you can see general reserve on 1st April 2019 is 3 lakhs. Less preliminary expenses 75,000. 2,25,000 is the general reserve. Profit and loss account. Profit as on 1st April 2019, that is beginning of the year, is 1,50,000 and profit for the year ending is 1,50,000. Next you have is creditors 3 lakhs, assets in that tangible fixed assets 15 lakhs, current asset 8,25,000. So you have to calculate cost of control and minority interest. So let us start our calculations. First let us calculate cost of control. Now for cost of control, we have to take cost of acquisition of shares. Now first let us understand how much shares are acquired by X Limited. So here they have given 75% shares are acquired. Total shares are 1,50,000. Out of that 75% shares are acquired by X Limited. So it is 1,50,000 shares into 75% into what is the cost of shares. Here it is given as 50. So this is your cost of acquisition. So 1,50,000 shares, out of that 75% are acquired and the value of shares is 50. So that is your cost of acquisition. So cost of acquisition is 16,87,500 less nominal value of shares. Now here you can see the face value of shares is 10, but shares are acquired at 5. That means shares are acquired at premium. So we have to subtract the nominal value of shares. So shares are 1,50,000. Out of that 75% are acquired by holding company and the nominal value of shares is 10. So less nominal value of shares, which is 11,25,000. So when you subtract this, you will get cost of control, or it is called as goodwill, which is 5,62,500. Alright. Now let us calculate minority interest. Now to calculate minority interest, we have to pay attention to 2 points. One is what is the ratio of shares which are held by holding company and the minority shareholders, and what is the date of acquisition of shares. Why date of acquisition of shares? To understand what is pre-acquisition reserve and profit and what is post-acquisition profit and reserve. So first let us find out what is the ratio of shares. Now here they have told 75% shares are acquired by X Limited. That means 75% is acquired by holding company and remaining 25% is acquired by minority interest. So 75 is to 25. If you simplify, you will get the ratio as 3 is to 1, which we will write it here. 3 is to 1 is the ratio. So share capital, reserves and profit will be distributed amongst holding company and other shareholders in the ratio of 3 is to 1. So let us start with the share capital. Share capital of X Limited is 15 lakhs. So let us divide this among holding company and the other company, other shareholders. So 15 lakh into 3 divided by 3 plus 1, 4. So 15 lakh into 3 divided by 4, that will be 11,25,000. Now for remaining shareholders, 15 lakhs into 1 divided by 4, that will be 3,75,000. Next is reserve. Now general reserve is given on 1 April 2019. So this is the reserve at the beginning of the year. What is the date of acquisition of shares? Shares are acquired on 1st October. So you know the financial year starts from April, okay, and the shares are acquired in October. So from 1st April to 1st October it is 6 months. So whatever happens within this 6 months, that will be in the nature of pre-acquisition, and whatever happens after 1st October, that will be post-acquisition. So this general reserve is given on 1/4/2019. So this is before the date of acquisition of shares. So this is pre-acquisition reserve. We will take 2,25,000 here. So 2,25,000. We have to divide it between holding company and the remaining shareholders. So 2,25,000 into 3 divided by 4, that will be 1,68,750. And 2,25,000 into 1 divided by 4 for remaining shareholders, which will be 56,250. All right. Now, next you have is post acquisition reserve. No other information regarding reserves is given. Next is profit. So, let us analyze what is pre acquisition profit and post acquisition profit. So, profit in the beginning of the year is 1,50,000 and profit for the year ending is 1,50,000. Now see, when you're determining profit, you have to take the profit up to the date of acquisition as pre-acquisition profit. Now 1,50,000 is the profit at the beginning of the year, and this profit is earned at the end of the year. 1,50,000 is earned throughout the year. So from this 1,50,000 up to the date of acquisition, whatever amount of profit is earned, that will also be considered as pre-acquisition profit. So from 1st April to 1st October, that is for this 6 months, what is the profit? Now how to find out what is the profit? 1,50,000 into 6 divided by 12. So you will get the profit which is earned for those 6 months. So 1,50,000, okay, is the profit which is at the beginning of the year, plus 1,50,000 into 6 divided by 12, that is 75,000. So this is your pre-acquisition profit. I hope you have understood this. Pre-acquisition means the profit on up to the date of acquisition. Now date of acquisition is 1st October. This is the profit only at the beginning of the year. So from the profit which is earned throughout the year, you have to consider the profit up to the date of acquisition, which is 75,000. So pre-acquisition profit is 2,25,000. This you have to divide between holding company and remaining shareholders. So 2,25,000 into 3 divided by 4, that will be 1,68,750. And for remaining shareholders, 2,25,000 into 1 divided by 4, that will be 56,250. Now let us determine what is post acquisition profit. Now from the profit which is earned throughout the year, that is 1,50,000. From that you have already taken 75,000 as the profit up to pre-acquisition period. So the remaining is the post-acquisition profit, which is 75,000, and this has to be divided between holding company and remaining shareholders. So 75,000 into 3 divided by 4, that will be 56,250. And for the remaining shareholders, 75,000 into 1 divided by 4, that will be 18,750. Now if you look at the problem, there is no information regarding increase or decrease in the value of the asset. So let us now make the total of this chart. 15 lakh plus 2,25,000 plus 2,25,000 plus 75,000, that will be 20,25,000. Next, let us make the total of holding company. That will be 15,18,750. And finally, minority interest will be 5,06,250. So our minority interest is 5,06,250. Now, apart from this, let us also calculate goodwill or capital reserve that will be shown in the balance sheet. Okay, so let us first calculate the capital reserve. Goodwill we have already calculated here, that is cost of control. Now let us calculate capital reserve and then determine whether goodwill or capital reserve will be shown in the balance sheet. So to calculate capital reserve, we have to take pre-acquisition reserve portion of X company. So pre-acquisition reserve of X company is 1,68,750. Then pre-acquisition profit, only pre-acquisition profit, that is also same, that is 1,68,750. So our total capital reserve will be 3,37,500. This is our capital reserve. Now let us see whether goodwill or capital reserve will be shown in the balance sheet. So goodwill calculated as about is 5,62,500, and capital reserve we have calculated just now, that is 3,37,500. So here you can see goodwill is more than capital reserve. So from the goodwill you have to minus capital reserve, and it will be goodwill that will be shown in the balance sheet. So goodwill that will be shown in the balance sheet is 2,25,000. So this will be shown in the balance sheet. So this is how you solve the problem. First calculate cost of control, minority interest, and then goodwill or capital reserve that will be shown in the balance sheet. With this, I conclude for today. Thank you.